All right. Not ideal. Not ideal. Not exactly the podcast I thought I was going to have today. But listen, pump the brakes on the panic button. We just played two very, very good teams, and we're not at 100% strength, and we're still trying to figure stuff out. So deep breths, people. We're going to be fine. 6 games of the year does not make a team. And I understand the frustration. Trust me. I'm annoyed. A lot of people in Philly are annoyed. I just think you see that there. National League champions. We've been here before. We're gonna be fine. Like the Phillies go on these stretches all the time. We're just so used to disappointment that the little ounce of win and like happiness that we did get kind of blew out the proportion of what this team is at its core, which is filled with disappointment. I've been there dealing with all of these terrible teams. The people watching, you have also dealt with these terrible teams. So we're kind of numb to it. But the new fans, which I love having new fans, are not used to the pain and misery that come with a 162 game season of the Philadelphia Phillies. So Phillies lost 2 out of 3 New York. Did get her first win though. So take that one to the house with you. We got our first win. So let's get into it. Full disclosure, as I fix my strings, I just looked down at the screen and I'm like, oh, these are like stupid, but it's fine. Full disclosure, I did not watch the game today because I was at work, but I was keeping up with it kind of sort of. I saw Kevin Long got tossed, Christian Pache. Yep, he's on the team. There was injury. Marsh might be hurt. Hall's hurt. So Scott Kingery Revenge Tour might be coming sooner than we thought. Okay, let's just water under the bridge. We're gonna get into it. Game number 1. The final score was the Yankees 8, the Phillies 1. And this night was cursed from the get-go. You had that LeMahieu beam into center, and Marsh misplayed it, went behind him, led to a triple. And all things considered, like Phillies gave up 2 runs. Taiwan Walker gave up 2 runs. Well, Phillies as a team kind of gave up 2 runs, but Taiwan Walker had 30 pitches in the first inning. But all things considered, I thought he did a very, very good job of working around all the. He had bases loaded, no outs, and against that Yankees team, pretty impressive that you only gave up the 2 runs there. And yes, it sucks that he gave up any runs, but like I thought he did well. He settled in, went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. The walks are a little concerning. But like all things considered, it wasn't terrible, you know. A big issue that the Phillies had was runners in scoring position. I felt like every inning we had a couple guys on, we just couldn't get the big hit. We couldn't finally break it open, and even if we did, Marsh had that running mistake on the JT ball. Like it was a lot of messy baseball. And again, I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt because it's very early in the season. Like we're just getting underway, and yes, I understand it's frustrating and annoying because we know the potential of this team. We know what their ceiling is, and right now we're looking at their floor right now. But their ceiling is World Series champions, and I get the frustration. Trust me, but I'm not panicking yet. I'm doing all right. Hanging on by a thread, doing okay. Gleyber Torres hit a solo home run in the third, made it 3-0. Sosa, what can I say? Bitches love Sosa. And I know I don't curse on here, but I had to do the thing. Sosa has been great. I think he's honestly the best pickup that Dave Dombrowski has had in his Phillies tenured. I love everything that Sosa does. He plays a great defense. Hits the ball. Like he's been hitting the hell out of the ball in spring training. This is carried over into the regular season now. Like I love Edmundo Sosa. He had an RBI single, scoring Alec Boehm, who doubled in the at bat beforehand. And the kind of halt was the as I mentioned before, Marsh getting thrown out at third, which he should have just went on that ball. Brandon Marsh has great speed, and it just, this is kind of where it spiraled out of control, excuse me. Taijuan Walker gets pulled in the fifth. And again, I thought Taijuan Walker, all things considered, was very, very efficient in this game. I thought he was, I wouldn't say great, but considering how the game started and how that easily could have snowballed, I thought he collected himself very well. I thought he made the right pitches at the right time. Like, he settled in very, very well after that dreadful first inning. Um, and then you bring in Junior Marte. And that's when everything kind of just snowballs. Marte comes in, gives up 4 earned runs in a third of an inning. And my Junior Marte take at the beginning of the season is aging like milk. That guy stinks. I don't know what happened, because in spring training, he looked like unhittable. And now we're into the regular season, and he has like a 56 ERA. Like, he's given up 4 runs in every single one of his appearances this season. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, man. Figure it out. But then, yeah, he walked 3 guys. Like, he just looked like garbage. Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run home run. Franchy Cordero, which didn't even know he was still in the league, hit an RBI, had a 2-run double. And then Trevino, who stinks, and I'll get back to Trevino when we talk about today's game, had an RBI single, and it was 8-1. And bad stuff all around, and it just sucked. Because it just felt, excuse me, it was Marte. Like, it was Junior Marte sucked the wind out of this team again, and he did the same thing in that blow up in Texas. He just sucked the wind out. Like, the Phillies were right there in it. And I don't blame Rob Thompson for going to him because of what he did in spring training. Like, you want this guy to be confident when he comes in, and for the love of God, like, he's just been dreadful. And obviously he's not on the roster anymore. They sent him down to AAA. They call up McKinley Moore, I believe, which great move. I loved what I saw in spring training, but again, he kind of has control issues, but I think he was just another arm out there in case there was another blowout. You just throw him out there. Speaking of, I loved what Andrew Vasquez did in this game. I thought he was really, really good. He went 2 1/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Like, he saved the Phillies bullpen, especially because at the time, the next night, you had Matt Strahm going, and you didn't know what you were going to get out of Matt Strahm, and you got greatness out of Matt Strahm. We'll get to that in a second, but Vasquez saved the arms in this bullpen so much stress and my apologies. He was great. Like, he did his job. Like, he was an innings eater. Like, he didn't give up any runs. Like, he was solid, just went in, did his job. He has that herky jerky kind of delivery to him. And I like him. I like Vasquez. He's kind of the Nick Nelson of this year. I'm assuming with the amount of injuries that are happening, we'll see Nick Nelson at some point. I like Nick Nelson. I thought he was fine. And then you had Dominguez, who came in the eighth, the bottom of the eighth, and pitched a scoreless inning, gave up a hit, and struck out 1. So it's good to see Dominguez kind of getting his confidence back after that bad start in Texas. But it was good to see some of these bullpen arms that aren't Marte, and we'll praise the bullpen in the next game, because I'm very tired of talking poorly about the Phillies, but they've given me nothing to be happy about. One thing to be happy about is they're hitting the hell out of the ball. Like, I think they're second or third in batting average. They're just not putting runs across. They're finally starting to hit home runs, which we'll get to. But yeah, it just kind of stinks. I got to scroll down, so you're coming up here with me. We're back to the kind of the old format. I tried to do something different where I was on my phone, but I feel like nobody really wants to look at someone who's like this all the time, kind of looking down at their thing and, always doing nothing. And I just sent a Snapchat as I was doing that, and I'm so good at this. Anyway, game 2, Phillies win. Phillies win a ball game. Yeah. How about it? Right? They win 4-1. My player of the game, Matt Strahm. And we'll get to him in a second because I want to talk about the offense because there was a lot of good. There was a lot of good. Schwarber hit his first homer of the year, and I loved, loved tone setting home runs, and that's all Kyle Schwarber does. He sets the tone. When he hit that home run in the first, I'm like, oh, they're winning this game. Like Kyle Schwarber doesn't come to play around. Brandon Marsh also had a home run, kind of redeemed himself for the miscue in game one. So hit a home run. Turner had an RBI single. Schwarber another RBI. I love watching Trey Turner play baseball. It is so great. Like, holy hell, watching this guy play is just awesome. Like, oh my God, I love him. God, I love him. Shout out to Jake Cave. Had a couple hits in this game. Um, like Jake Cave, he's fine. He's good. No Mundo Sosa. No Garrett Stubbs, which all I'm saying is the Phillies are 1-0 with Garrett Stubbs and 0-5 with JT. Just, just saying. But a lot of good from the pitching side. This was technically a bullpen game, but you were kind of trying to see how much you were going to get out of Matt Strahm. 4 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Oh my God, professional. Yeah, great, really good, man. Like Matt Strahm pitching 4 shut against the Yankees in 2023. What? Awesome. And I love Matt Strahm. He was talking to himself, and he said in the post game interview, I forget who the interview was by, so my apologies, but he said, "I'm not a reliever. I'm not a starter. I'm a pitcher. Wherever they want me, I'll be there." Um, which I love. I love I love Matt Strahm. I love the signing when we made it. Um, I love Matt Strahm. I love the attitude he brings. He seems like a great dude. And he was a gamer. He attacked the strike zone in this game. He was not afraid. He wasn't trying to nip at you. He wasn't trying to hit the corners. He was, here's my best stuff. Hit it if you can. Boom, boom, boom. Attack, 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 attack. I love that. I love when pitchers, and that's why I love Rangers so much, is he just attacks. Like, here's the stuff. If he can hit it, great. If not, you're 1, 2, 3, and you're sitting back in the dugout. Like, I love that. Andrew Bellotti went an inning, struck out 2. Love Andrew Bellotti. Everybody knows that. Alvarado struck out the side on 12 pitches. What? 12 pitches and you strike out the side? Come on, man. The guy's dirty. Connor Brogdon went 2 innings, had a hit and a strikeout. I wasn't a fan, truth be told. I wasn't a fan of Brogdon going out for the second inning, but I was like, oh, I've never doubted Rob Thompson a day in my life. I knew he was going to make the right decision. And then we got a little hairy in the 9th. We did. Thompson decided to go with Craig Kimbrell, which I get. He's the closer, veteran guy. Gave up the home run to LeMahieu, then gave up another hit, then walked the guy, and I'm like, oh. And then Josh Donaldson came up. I'm like, this game is so going to be tied by the end of this. But then luckily it's Josh Donaldson and he stinks. So he popped up and we won the game. And you could tell early on Kimbrell didn't have control of his secondary, so all the Yankees players could just sit fastball, which was like awesome. But I don't hate the move of Kimbrell in that spot because of like just he's the experienced guy. Like I don't hate it. Like yes, it's gonna be like that sometimes, but other times it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 gone, and see you tomorrow. But whatever. Now we're moving on to game 3. So game 3, I kind of have to look at my phone a little bit because again, I didn't watch game 3. I didn't take notes because I was working all day. So here, let me bring up the stat line. They lost 4-2, and there was some wickedness going on. So let me break it down. Professional over here. So, Garrett Cole pitched. Sorry, God, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. So Aaron Nola went 6 innings, great bounce back start for him. Gave up 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Like he bounced back really well. He was getting pinched so much by the home plate umpire. And I only know that because I was able to watch some of the game while I was on my break, and I had Matt Hartman texting me. Matt Saporsky was also texting me, and I was seeing on Twitter like the umpiring was terrible. And before the umpiring this season has been atrocious on all fronts, I feel like. And there needs to be ramifications for that. There needs to be punishment for an umpire being bad at his job. Guys like CB Buckner, who we talked about in the last podcast, guys like Angel Hernandez. I don't know who the home plate umpire, but there needs to be ramifications for them not doing their job correctly, and there's not right now, and I don't think there ever will be. I hope there's enough uproar to where, we have this set box and we have maybe an inch of give. And if you're not in that and you're calling, and these umpires get such big egos when they're being told your strike zone sucks, because we saw it. Kevin Long got kicked out after Casty struck, or excuse me, Jake Cave was up. There's a ball low that they called a strike. Casty was pissed. Thompson was pissed. K Long was pissed. Kevin Long got tossed. And there just needs to be more of there needs to be more punishment for umpires not doing their jobs. And like, I understand nobody's perfect. Nobody is, especially when it comes to umpiring, but to miss balls that badly, and it's one thing to do it consistently. Like if the strike zone's bad, bad, but it's consistent, meaning, you know, 2 inches in. I know that's a lot, but 2 inches in is a strike all night on both sides. Okay, then that's just the strike zone. But in one inning, if it's at the top of the zone and it's strike, and then the next inning you throw it in that exact location and it's a ball, that's when it gets annoying. That's when pitchers are like, feel like they have to be perfect in order to get the right call, because these umpires have this God complex that they can't get over. And again, 95% of the umpires are great and do their job. And if there is an issue, obviously, to an extent, they'll be like, okay. And players and catchers will talk to the umpires and be like, where was that? Was that in? Was that up? To try to establish the strike zone. And like I said before, if the strike zone is whatever it is consistently, if it's bad, but it's consistent, then that's one thing. But these umpires have such wide strike zones and very inconsistent. I think the thing that gets me is the inconsistency. That's what angers me. The reason I put my phone down was because I really wanted to get that rant about the umpires off my chest, because it's been bothering me for so long. Gregory Soto gave up a homer, which kind of sucked, and Sir Anthony looked really good in the bottom of the eighth. Apparently, I'm not saying apparently, but like from what I've seen, again, I did not watch this game. I don't know the ins and outs. Gleyber Torres should have struck out in the first and didn't, because the umpire was terrible and their strike zone was terrible, and then led to an RBI single. So, yeah, that was the thing. And I feel like Gleyber Torres got away with so much in this series. I can think in game 1 or 2, he checked swing like 4 times and went like all 4 times, and the umpire called him like, nope, nope, nope. And then I feel like Casty like didn't go, like he held, and then he was called for a swing. Like it bothered me. Like, again, there needs to be punishment and ramifications for poor umpiring. But again, then it leads to the question, what is poor umpiring? What justifies that? And that could be a slippery slope. So I don't know. I'm just going off on shouting to the clouds here. But we move on. We're back home. We're back in Philly, which is great. We love being back in Philadelphia. For tomorrow, which we don't know if tomorrow's game will happen, only because of the weather. It's supposed to storm. But the pitching matchup tomorrow should be great. We have Hunter Green going up against Zach Wheeler. Saturday, we have Nick Lodolo going up against Bailey Falter. And then we have Taylor. Is it Taylor Ashcraft? I feel like it's Taylor. Is it? Taylor sounds right. You have the three studs of the Reds going up against the Phillies. It's Graham Ashcraft. Where did I get Taylor from? Against Taijuan Walker. So to recap, we have Green, Wheeler, Lodolo, Falter, Ashcraft, Walker. Great pitching matchup. I love those three guys on the Reds. I think they're studs. I think they're guys who are gonna take the next leap. The Reds are just bad. Like they're not a very good. They have more wins than the Phillies, but they're pitching. Those three guys, Hunter, Lodolo, and Ashcraft, are very, very good guys. Like they're not guys you can sleep on. They're not guaranteed wins, but you need to take 2 out of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds in order for this team to start believing. And the Phillies, throughout their entire history, have always played better at home. So I'm a little more confident of them returning home, of a being able to rattle off 4 or 5, 5 or 6, 6 or 7, than I am on the road. So I feel confident going into this series. Just keep up what you're doing. As I mentioned before, I want to see if there's any updates. I mentioned that Brandon Marsh sustained an injury. Derek Hall also sustained an injury. So I'm interested to see if there's any updates on them. It doesn't look like there is right now. But if there is, I will post it on Instagram or TikTok if there's any updates on those guys. But we will be back. It's Easter. I don't know when I'm working. At least Sunday night. Because I'm gone this weekend, but I'll be back Sunday, but I don't know what I'm working Sunday. So barring what I work Sunday, it'll either be Sunday morning or I have off Monday. I know that because I have some stuff I have to do Monday. It'll either be Sunday night or Monday morning where we'll recap the Red series. So look out for that. And again, I'll keep updates on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. Well, maybe not Twitter. I have a Twitter. I don't really use it that much though, but that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to like, subscribe, follow on all socials down below, all that good stuff. So thank you again, and we will see you Sunday or Monday. Yeah.